Hello, and welcome to Select 10. In this video, we will discuss the 10 best new web series that have been premiered on Netflix in 2024. From Netflix new sci-fi to crime to action stories, this top 10 list will include series that are entertaining, contain never-before-seen themes and concepts, and have fantastic characters who maintain your attention throughout the show's story and are definitely worth your time. Now let's start the video. Number 10. Baby Bandito. It is a crime drama series directed by Julio Jorquera Rayagata, Fernando Gazzoni, Pipa San Martin. The show is inspired by a burglary that occurred in Chile in 2014 and centers on Kevin Tapia, who finds himself struggling financially to care for his mother and grandmother and becomes sucked into the realm of small-time crime. His dreams of popularity and wealth get more spark when he falls in love with Genesis, a young woman from a wealthy background. In an attempt to give her a lavish lifestyle, Kevin steals $7 million that is supposed to arrive at Santiago's international airport. This big move not only makes him and his group suddenly wealthy, but it also puts them at the highest level of the nation's most wanted ranking, where they are forced to deal with authorities and angry criminals. The show addresses some of the moral issues brought up when the group steals the cash from other lawbreakers and gives a vibrant, occasionally hilarious, and often distorted portrayal of events. Although it may not make a lasting impact on audiences, it is a slick, fast drama about how an actual life criminal carried off a large burglary. Number 9. Super Sex. It is a biographical drama series that is partially based on the life of well-known Italian adult star, Rocco Siffredi. The series portrays Siffredi's background, relationships, family, and the events that drove him to choose a career in adult content, as well as his ascent to the pinnacle of the erotic world. Despite being biographical, the show delves into the deeper, more primitive themes in Rocco Siffredi's life, such as his many romantic relationships, his choice of mentors, and lingering familial tragedies. Also, there are many intimate moments in the show, so it's definitely only appropriate for mature audiences. Overall, the show blends entertainment with valuable lessons as it takes you on a trip from his teenage years to manhood. Number 8. Fool Me Once. It is a thriller drama series directed by David Moore and Naimur Rashed. The narrative centers on Maya Stern, who is attempting to process her husband Joe's horrific death. But when she places a nanny cam to watch over her little child, she is surprised to discover her husband, Joe, alive, playing with her daughter inside their home. Feeling puzzled and distressed, Maya starts to doubt her own mind, while Abby and Daniel, Maya's niece and nephew, investigate the true cause behind their mother's death a few months prior, as well as any potential links connecting the murder case of Joe and their mother Claire Walker. The show is adapted by Danny Brocklehurst, taking inspiration from the same-titled 2015 book written by Harlan Coben. Although the show isn't as excellent as the book, it is nevertheless a decent suspenseful thriller that keeps viewers wondering right up to the very end. As Maya tries to discover the truth about Joe's past and the murder, the show creates a narrative that will make you wonder about everything you see, thanks to its deep twists in the plot, complicated characters, and unrelenting suspense. Overall, if you enjoy twisting mysteries, Fool Me Once is absolutely worth seeing. Number 7. Crooks. It is a crime-action miniseries created by Marvin Kren. The plot centers on safecracker Charlie, whose previous colleagues put the lives of his family in danger by urging Charlie to steal a rare coin for them. Meanwhile, Joseph, the driver of an opponent's lethal plan, Vienna, is expected to deliver the items to Austria, but their well-laid-out strategy fails and a firefight breaks out, killing one person. Unavoidably, Charlie and Joseph's destinies clash, requiring them to run away and bring Charlie's family out of danger. Despite its basic premise, which we have seen many times before, the show climbs beyond traditional criminal thriller cliches due to the unusual friendship of Charlie and Joseph, which is the best part of the show. The whole chaos centers on a valuable coin that drives rival gangs throughout Europe to war that leads to a combination of action, suspense, and humor at its core. For those who enjoy heist stories, the show is a great option for entertainment, plus it features a large cast of quirky characters who add plenty of dark comedy. Number 6. Judge Dee's Mystery. It is a crime drama series directed by Li Yun Liang. The plot revolves around the famous detective Dee Renji, whose life takes an unexpected turn because of a government shuffle that occurred during Empress Wu Zixin's reign, during which he was given the task of investigating an odd crime cases that was taking place in a remote village in the east. Although Renji demonstrated a remarkable aptitude for solving cases, as he dug deeper, a growing number of secrets came to light that endangered both the Wu Zixin dynasty and the city's stability and security. Each episode does a fantastic job of drawing viewers in with its gripping storylines, intricate puzzles, and immersive visuals. Consider this show to be similar to Sherlock Holmes, where there are many mysteries throughout the season. The show's visually magnificent sets lend dimension to the plot and flawlessly reflect the historical period. Even though the plot occasionally grew a little unclear and less engaging compared to earlier episodes, the new cases keep the drama going swiftly and make it an enjoyable story to follow. This show is worth a try for fans of detective dramas. You won't be disappointed. Number 5. Good Morning Veronica. It is a crime mystery thriller series created by Rafael Montes. On February 14, 2024, the third season of the show was released. But first, let's recall the main plot so that you can understand the essence of the series. The storyline of the first season centers on Veronica Torres, a police officer who looks into a woman's murder and learns that she was the victim of a violent psychopath who attacks weak women. Veronica, who is driven to see the victim's rights upheld, embarks on her own investigation into the case and discovers unsettling details about the murderer. With a few characters from Season 1 returning, Season 2 features a different crime situation with Veronica at its center. And for viewers of Seasons 1 and 2, Season 3 begins with Veronica heading to Monte Azul to learn more about Monsignor Davila, where she meets Geronimo, a wealthy horse ranch operator whose horrible secret puts her life in jeopardy. Season 3 concluded as well, wrapping up the plot too quickly, but in a way that was mostly enjoyable. In general, the show attracts audiences with its blend of personal drama and crime-solving elements, addressing social themes such as violence, as well as corruption in the justice system. For those who enjoy realistic criminal dramas, the show is worth watching owing to its fast-paced narrative. Number 4. Queen of Tears. It is a romance drama series directed by Jang Young-woo and Kim Hee-won. The story depicts the strange romance between Hong Hae-in, a Chaebol princess from the Queen's group, and Baek Hyun-woo, the company's legal division's leader. Everything starts when employee Baek Hyun-woo assists Hong Hae-in with her work, when she makes the decision to go secretly and experience what it's truly like to work for her family's renowned department store. Soon, Hae-in finds this generosity to be incredibly meaningful, and they fight against every obstacle to maintain their relationship while dealing with a difficult time in their lives and overcoming a crisis. The majority of the plot is set up in the first episode in an entertaining manner, but the later few episodes lose some of their punch. But the show has elements of classic Korean dramas and features dynasty conflict in a contemporary setting. While its characters are not as funny or interesting as those in other K-dramas, they can be appealing to those who stick with the entire series. Overall, it's a predictable, stylish drama that relies on the actors' chemistry, drawing viewers into their intense journey of love and reconciliation. So far, 8 episodes have been previewed, and from the remaining 8, 2 episodes will be released every week. Number 3. Ripley. It is a psychological thriller series based on Patricia Highsmith's 1955 crime book, The Talented Mr. Ripley. The story is set in 1960s New York and follows Tom Ripley, a young man with a knack for lying and manipulating others. When Tom is having financial difficulties, Herbert Greenleaf, a successful businessman, approaches him and gives him a job to convince his son Dickie Greenleaf to come back home from Italy. Initially puzzled, Tom enthusiastically accepted the proposition, seeing it as a chance to leave his boring life. After arriving in Italy, Tom starts to idolize Dickie, but when Dickie becomes sick of Tom's company and starts to put a barrier between them, Tom feels rejected, which makes his respect for Dickie a fixation. Soon after, Tom starts to pretend to be Dickie by copying what he does. He finds himself entangled in an unstable game of cat and mouse as he tries to avoid the Italian police's suspicions. The show is brilliantly shot and provides a gripping look at identity, obsession, and the darkest recesses of the human mind. Its skillful storytelling immerses the viewer in a world of trickery, plotting, and killing as Tom gets more and more involved in a maze of falsehoods. All things considered, the show has a gripping murder story and deep character development that mesmerize viewers with its frightening depiction of human behavior. Number 2. Parasite, The Grey. It is a 2024 sci-fi horror action series directed by Yeon Sang-ho. The show is a live-action version of Hitachi Iwaki's manga series, Parasite, which chronicles an encounter with unknown parasitic creatures that take over people's brains. The story centers on mysterious parasitic creatures that crash land from space and start killing people in order to take control of their bodies and minds to acquire their own power. The main focus of the story is Young Soo-in, who contracts a parasite that fails to take over her brain but instead begins an odd coexistence with her. Meanwhile, Seal Kang-woo searches for his abducted younger sister by pursuing parasites, and Choi Jun-kyung, the head of the parasite task force, lost her spouse to parasites and has made it her mission in life to eliminate them. This Netflix version retains many of the elements from the original manga in somewhat different ways, while presenting an original plot that is set in the same universe as the animated series. Also, the conclusion provides an excellent bridge into Season 2, as well as a satisfying conclusion to the plot. The show's 6 episodes are jam-packed with exciting science fiction plots, monsters versus human action sequences, and a fascinating storyline, making it ideal for binge-watching, even though it lacks the punch of a manga and an animated show. Number 1. Three-Body Problem. For the time being, set the book aside and analyze these series for its concept. You're going to love it, especially if you're a fan of mind-challenging science fiction. The primary focus of the show is the unexplained deaths of scientists who experience odd countdowns just before they die away. The story follows a group of researchers, including Jin Cheng and Augustina, as they look into these peculiar deaths and discover a virtual reality game that leads them to an immense alien danger that is around 400 years away from Earth. Meanwhile, all of this is due to events that took place 50 years ago amid the Chinese Cultural Revolution, when scientist Yi Wenji saw her father put to death and was chosen for a covert government initiative that involved reaching out to extraterrestrial worlds. Shortly after establishing communication with an unidentified extraterrestrial species, she consents to assist them in invading Earth and establishing their society. Thus, scientists in the present period have to deal with an extraterrestrial army that is preparing to attack Earth. The show depicts the researchers' efforts to find a way to stop them, but can they do so? The show's story feels a little draggy, but the time spent setting up the invasion is beneficial. The show adapts Liu Cixin's first book, The Three-Body Problem, and makes a few changes that are unlikely to please book readers. But for a wider audience as well as sci-fi fans, it is terrific science fiction with a fascinating, mind-bending plot that should not be missed. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.